Hello everyone. I hope you all are good and are doing well in your lives. Our today's topic is South China Sea, which is very much in news, and that's why I believe this is going to be one of the most important topic for this year's means and also next year as well. Prelims as well as means of next year. Beginning with how we are going to study this topic is these are the subheads under which we will discuss about it. First one, importance. Then about UN clause, that is United Nations Convention on the Laws of the Sea. Then we will discuss about what is this conflict, why is it there, how is it going to impact India. Very much important because how the policies impact India or how the things which are going on in the international affairs they impact India. This is a straightforward topic in the syllabus. And what are the possible solutions to it? That is also important from the perspective of means. Let's begin. So first of all, let's discuss it from the prelims perspective. तो ये इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस आ जाती है फ्रॉम द जियोग्राफिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. इसकी ज्योग्राफी क्या है? Okay, because word geography is something which is very much asked in the paper. So first of all, as the name tells, South China Sea, that is it is the on the south of the China. The countries surrounding the South China Sea are China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, Philippines, Taiwan. So these are the countries which surround the South China Sea. There are various islands and reefs in this region. These are Paracel Island, Scarborough Shoal, Spratly Islands. Important to remember their location and like how they are placed from north to south. This is actually, these kind of questions are also asked in the prelims. Another important thing is we must remember like the countries which are in this, like the countries which are in conflict. Basically the Paracel Islands, they are conflicted because of they are in conflict between which countries. So it is basically Paracel Islands are conflicted region between Vietnam, China, Taiwan. Scarborough Shoal, when we talk about, they are a conflict between Philippines and China. And then Spratly Islands, almost all the countries of the region, they are basically in conflict because they are claiming one or other part of these islands. So this is about the geography of the South China Sea. I think you must remember their locations. That's more important from the perspective of prelims. So another thing, so now beginning with, let's discuss about the importance. Let's now discuss about the importance of South China Sea because कुछ तो reason होगा ना कि why this South China Sea, why is there this much conflict in the region? क्योंकि we have discussed कि हाँ conflict है, conflict तो है लेकिन कुछ तो reason होगा इस conflict के पीछे. So comes the importance of South China Sea. All the data which is given over here, I have mentioned the sources or kind of agency or from which report the data actually has been taken. So the first one is as per the estimates of United States Energy Information Agency. According to it, 11 barrels of oil and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. So the first subheading can be oil and natural gas reserves which are present in the region. Next one is rich fishing grounds. It is home to rich fishing grounds and which is also a major source of income for millions of people across the region. And also BBC has reported that more than half of the world's fishing vessels operate in this area. So important fishing ground. Important trade route. Very important trade route, UNCTAD, United Nations Convention on Trade and Development. According to its estimates, over 21% of the global trade amounting to $3.37 trillion transited through these waters in 2016. 2016 का data है, but yes, shows कि it's a very important trade route. As per CSIS report, 64% of the China's trade passes through the region and 14% of the USA's trade. Why I have mentioned specifically about China? Because it is the major claimant in this region. So we will be discussing कि why have I discussed about this point कि China's 64% trade passes through this region. Okay, so that's why it is one of the most important country which is having the claims in the South China Sea. So before discussing about the conflict, let's first learn about few terms as per the UN clause, that is United Nations Convention on Laws of the Sea. इसके बारे में पता होना बहुत जरूरी है. Only then we will be able to understand the actual conflict in the region. और उससे भी अगर देखा जाए तो first of all we are having land, then this is our continental, जो यहाँ से हमारा जो है सी स्टार्ट हो जाता है, दिस इज आवर कॉन्टिनेंटल शेल्फ, एंड यहाँ पे अगर यहाँ पर जाके डीपर रीजन हो जाते हैं. ओके, दिस इज समथिंग वी मस्ट रिमेम्बर. ओके, तो इसमें सबसे पहले आ जाता है टेरिटोरियल सी. फ्रॉम द बेस लाइन till the 12 nautical miles we are having is territorial sea. From the baseline till this point, from the 24 nautical miles, this is contiguous zone, and from the baseline till 200 nautical miles, this is the exclusive economic zone. This is basically the term I have used many a times in the upcoming slides, so we must remember about it कि 200 nautical miles तक what we are having is exclusive economic zones, and after that 200 nautical miles के बाद comes the high seas. Okay, so इस high seas को तो global common declare कर दिया गया है. Okay, they have been declared as global commons. अब exclusive economic zone वो zone तक, यहाँ तक जो है द कंट्री जिसके एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन में ये रीजन आ जाता है, दे आर हैविंग द राइट ओवर द मिनरल्स विच आर फाउंड इन दीज रीजन्स. तो यहीं से जो है, इसी पॉइंट से जो है वो मेजर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जो है साउथ चाइना सी का वो स्टार्ट होता है. ओके, लेट्स सी अब व्हाई इज दिस कॉन्फ्लिक्ट देयर. ओके, अब फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट्स डिस्कस अबाउट दिस थिंग. ओके, सी, अब हमने बात की है एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन की 200 नॉटिकल माइल्स तक. दिस ग्रीन लाइन दे एक्चुअली शोज द एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन ऑफ वेरियस कंट्रीज इन द रीजन. ठीक है, these show the exclusive economic zone of various countries. ठीक है, अब बात यहाँ पर कंफ्लिक्ट की आ जाती है कि कंफ्लिक्ट एग्जैक्टली है क्या. एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन है, इस जोन के अकॉर्डिंग बहुत ही सिंपली इन्होंने कर रखा है कि 200 नॉटिकल माइल्स तक उस पर्टिकुलर कंट्री की राइट होगी उस जगह पर. ओके, लेकिन अब चाइना क्या करता है कि इट वाज इन 1947 कॉमिनतान दे इशूड अ न्यू चाइना मैप, जिसमें उन्होंने इशू की एक 11 डैश लाइन. अब 11 डैश लाइन क्या थी? अब कुछ स्पेसिफिक नहीं है कि 11 डैश लाइन का कोई लीगल बेसिस नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. सपोज करो आप एक पेपर पे बैठे हो, आपने मैप लिया है, साउथ चाइना सी का रीजन है सपोज ये, तो उन्होंने क्या किया, 11 डैशेस लगा दिए, यहाँ 11 डैशेस लगा दिए. तो सपोज करो कि जैसे रीजन है साउथ चाइना सी का, और इन्होंने क्या किया, बैठे बिठाए यहाँ पर बिना किसी से पूछे बताए 11 डैशेस लगा दिए. सो 11 डैशेस लगा दिए और उसे बोल दिया 11 डैश लाइन 11 डैश लाइन है, एंड देन इट वाज कि ये 11 डैश लाइन है इस पूरे रीजन में, और जितना सारा रीजन 11 डैश लाइन के अंदर आता है दैट ऑल बिलोंग्स टू चाइना. बैठे बिठाए काम किया और न्यू मैप इन्होंने इशू कर दिया 11 डैश लाइन. इट वाज इन 1953 कि इस 11 डैश लाइन को 9 डैश लाइन में बदल दिया गया when the claims over Gulf of Tonkin were गिवन अप। 1953 में दे गेव अप द क्लेम्स ओवर गल्फ ऑफ टोंकिन और उस 11 डैश लाइन को चेंज कर दिया गया 9 डैश लाइन में। और अब हम बात करते हैं, हम अब जनरली बात करते हैं 9 डैश लाइन की। और रिसेंटली, वेरी रिसेंटली 2023 की ही बात है, इन्होंने एक नया स्टैंडर्ड मैप इशू किया और उसमें उन्होंने 10 डैशेस लगा दिए हैं, विच इज नथिंग बट पहले 9 डैशेस थे, ऐसे एक डैश और लगा दिया ऊपर, लाइक दिस डैश, दे हैव एडेड अनदर डैश। लेट मी शो यू इन द मैप व्हाट दे हैव डन, कि ये 9 डैशेस मैंने शो किया है विद द हेल्प ऑफ दीज ऑरेंज। ये है 9 डैशेस, एक डैश यहाँ पर और लगा दिया, 10 डैश लाइन इशू कर दी है। अब चाइना क्या कहता है कि ठीक है हमने इशू किया, अगर पूछा जाए कि चाइना क्या बोलता है कि वाई दे हैव इशू दिस 9 डैश लाइन, के बेसिस क्या है, यहाँ ऐसे ही बैठे बिठाए जो भी, व्हाट दे से इज वी हैव हिस्टोरिकल मैरीटाइम क्लेम्स ओवर द रीजन। अब इस चीज को प्रूव करने के लिए अगर चाइना ने, अगर हमसे पूछा जाए कि कुछ किया है, नहीं, कुछ प्रूफ नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है। व्हाट दे से इज कोई लीगल राइट नहीं है इनका, दे हैव जस्ट सेड कि वी हैव हिस्टोरिकल मैरीटाइम राइट्स ओवर द रीजन। चाइना है, सो दिस इज व्हाट इट इज, बोल दिया है हमने, उसके बाद वी डोंट केयर। ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव डिस्कस्ड अबाउट। तो हमें इतना तो समझ आ गया है कि उन्होंने बैठे बिठाए 9 डैश लाइन लगाई, मतलब 11 डैश थी पहले, नाउ इट इज 9 डैश लाइन, वी आर हैविंग दीज 9 डैशेस। चाइना कहता है कि ये सारा रीजन, इस सारे रीजन पर अप्रोक्सीमेटली 90% रीजन पर चाइना का क्लेम है, लेकिन जो यूएन क्लॉज के अकॉर्डिंग एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन्स हैं उसके लिए ये लाइंस हैं, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ विच देयर इज कंफ्लिक्ट इन दिस रीजन। सो यू मस्ट हैव अंडरस्टूड अबाउट इट कि पैरासिल आइलैंड्स पे किस तरह कंफ्लिक्ट है, स्कारबरो शोल पे क्यों फिलीपींस और चाइना का कंफ्लिक्ट है, स्प्रैटली आइलैंड्स पे क्यों इतनी सारी कंट्रीज का है, मलेशिया का भी है, ब्रुनेई का भी है, फिलीपींस का भी कुछ है, वियतनाम का भी है, चाइना तो चलो है ही कि हमारा सारा रीजन ही है। सो व्हाई दे आर इन कंफ्लिक्ट? सो आई थिंक वी ऑल मस्ट हैव अंडरस्टूड अबाउट द कंफ्लिक्ट इन दिस रीजन। ओके, सो see, I have written what I have told you about it. See, through the 9 dash line, China claims 90% of the region. Or in the recent years, it has also tried to stop other nations from conducting any military or economic operations without China's consent. I have written कि जैसे कौन से आइलैंड्स किन किन कंट्रीज के बीच में कंटेस्टेड है, लाइक पैरासिल आइलैंड, स्कारबरो, स्प्रैटली, कौन कौन किस किस के बीच में कंटेस्टेड है, आई हैव रिटन अबाउट इट, आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन्ड यू दिस थिंग। और उसके बाद अब ये कंटेस्टेड है तो चाइना रिस्पॉन्स में क्या कर रहा है, it is increasing its military outpost in the region and also building artificial islands. This is what China is doing. As per the Council on Foreign Relations, इनकी रिपोर्ट के अकॉर्डिंग पैरासिल आइलैंड्स में दे हैव 20 आउटपोस्ट एंड स्प्रैटली आइलैंड्स में दे हैव 7 आउटपोस्ट। एंड सिंस 2012 स्कारबरो शोल पे भी दे आर एक्सर्टिंग देयर कंट्रोल थ्रू अ कांस्टेंट कोस्ट गार्ड प्रेजेंट। And also China has militarized woody islands by developing fighter jets, cruise missile and radar system. They have deployed fighter jets, cruise missile and radar system on these woody islands and they have militarized it. So these are what the things China is doing over in this region, ताकि बस दिखा सके कि yes we have the claims over this region. They are using their military. Basically we have read about in the last, इनकी अगर मिलिट्री का यूज हो तो उसे क्या कहते हैं, बेसिकली चाइना इज यूजिंग इट्स हार्ड पावर ओवर हियर in this region. Can we give this as an example of hard power? Yes, of course we can give this example. Now अब इतना conflict है तो have they tried to resolve this conflict? Yes, definitely they did that. China and ASEAN. So when we talk about ASEAN में एसोसिएशन फॉर साउथ ईस्ट एशियन नेशंस है। साउथ ईस्ट एशियन नेशंस ओवरऑल 10 नेशंस आ जाते हैं इसमें। एंड मेजरली एशियन नेशंस ही हैं विच आर इन कंफ्लिक्ट विद चाइना इन द साउथ चाइना सी। 10 nations आ जाते हैं. We are going to discuss about ASEAN as well as in the greater detail. So 10 nations आ जाते हैं. तो इसे याद करने का भी तरीका है बेसिकली इसमें है कि 5 nations तो इसमें आ जाते हैं जो 5 nations तो आ जाते हैं जो कि आइलैंड नेशंस हैं. तो इसमें आ जाते हैं हमारे पास इंडोनेशिया, अब नेक्स्ट आता है फिलीपींस, ब्रुनेई, another one is Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, मलेशिया, सिंगापुर. ये तो हैं जो आइलैंड कंट्रीज हैं और 5 हैं जो कि मतलब एशिया के साथ ही कनेक्टेड है. दिस इज द वे वी कैन से दैट 5 आइलैंड कंट्रीज हैं और 5 ओवर द लैंड है जैसे म्यांमार, थाईलैंड, लाओस, कंबोडिया and Vietnam. These are the Asian countries. One more country has joined. Sorry, I forgot to tell you कि one more country has joined it, which is Timor-Leste. So overall 11 nations are there. तो बात आ जाती है कि जनरली जो है वो एशियन नेशंस ही हैं which are in conflict. तो उसमें आ जाती है जैसे फिलीपींस है, ब्रुनेई है, मलेशिया है, राइट. So these are the countries जो basically conflict में है with China. That's why China and ASEAN they have focused on coming up with a code of conduct. उन्होंने डिसाइड किया था कि yes we will come up with a code of conduct and ASEAN given the dispute within but ASEAN के खुद के अंदर dispute चल रहे हैं and they are not able to come up with any joint front to negotiate with China. 2002 में what they did they adopted a declaration on the conduct of parties and they said कि हाँ this declaration of conduct of parties we have adopted and which was also aimed at paving way for the code of conduct. लेकिन code of conduct आज तक नहीं आया है. rather हुआ क्या है कि disputes सिर्फ बड़े ही हैं. इस कदर बढ़ गए कि what Philippines did, Philippines took China to the Permanent Court of Arbitration. It happened in 2013 that Manila is the capital of Philippines only, initiated arbitral proceedings against China under the UN clause and claiming its action has violated the convention. कि चाइना के क्लेम्स ने line obvious सी बात है it is violating the convention. So that's why what they did they initiated arbitral proceedings against China in the Permanent Court of Arbitration PCA, that is Permanent Court of Arbitration में what they did they have started the proceedings against China. लेकिन अब चाइना ने क्या किया, China did not even participated in it. चलो जी ये रूलिंग हम देखते हैं बट चाइना का रिस्पांस पहले तो इसी पर ही चाइना का रिस्पांस ये रहा कि चाइना रिफ्यूज टू पार्टिसिपेट, बोला कि परमानेंट कोर्ट ऑफ आर्बिट्रेशन ही इलीगल है एंड इट रिफ्यूज टू पार्टिसिपेट. चाइना डिड नॉट पार्टिसिपेटेड बट 2016 में परमानेंट कोर्ट ऑफ आर्बिट्रेशन ने इस इशू पर दी अपनी रूलिंग, रिजेक्टेड चाइना 9-dash line and said that they are inconsistent with the UN clause and it also concluded that there was no legal basis for China's historical rights over these islands. This is nothing but the ruling of Permanent Court of Arbitration. It's important to understand कि Permanent Court of Arbitration जो है उसकी जो rulings होती है ना they are actually binding, लेकिन problem is there is no enforcement mechanism. So that's why China boycotted proceedings, ignored a judgment. तो अभी भी ये इशू वैसा का वैसा ही है. Although this was in favor of Philippines, but China refused to follow it. अब बात आ जाती है कि बाकी सब ठीक है. I think you must have understood about the conflict in the region and what had been actually the ways they had tried to resolve this dispute. Now comes what was India's response. तो इंडिया ने इनिशियली क्या किया, न्यूट्रल स्टांस मेंटेन किया कि ठीक है, दिस वाज द रूलिंग बाय पीसीए, ओके ठीक है, वी हैव टुक अ लुक एट इट एंड we maintained a neutral stance at first, but now we are increasing our involvement in this issue. We are no longer maintaining a neutral stance now. How can we show ki we are not maintaining a neutral stance? What happens is, in 2019, Indian Navy for the first time conducted joint exercise with the US, Japan, Philippine navies in the South China Sea. पहली joint exercises Indian Navy did in the South China Sea. August 2021, military exercise with the navies of Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Australia, Indonesia in the South China Sea. May 2023, for the first time, India sent warships to participate in two-day joint exercise with the navies of 7 Asian states in the South China Sea. Next one is increased military sales and assistance to Philippines and Vietnam. BrahMos missile Philippines को ये 2022 में इन्होंने डील की थी and in April 2024 they have sent these BrahMos missiles to Philippines and light missile frigates to Vietnam. So that's why this point shows that yes, we are increasing our involvement in the dispute. So now we must discuss about the reasons for increasing involvement of India in the South China Sea. Like, why are we increasing? The first point is the strategic interest. Southeast Asia serve as India's backyard. तो इंडिया का बैकयार्ड है एंड आल्सो गेटवे टू द इंडियन ओशन. तो अगर किसी भी तरह की टेंशन इंक्रीज करती है इन द साउथ चाइना सी, तो इट माइट हैव एन स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट इन द इंडियन ओशन. तो उसका जो इम्पैक्ट है वो इंडियन ओशन में भी दिखना बहुत ही ज्यादा ऑब्वियस है. ओके, सो दैट्स व्हाई वी आर, तो इसकी वजह से इंडियन सिक्योरिटी के ऊपर भी इम्पैक्ट आ सकता है. तो दैट इज वन ऑफ द रीजन. इंडिया परसीव्स साउथ चाइना सी एज फुटहोल्ड टू पुट फॉरवर्ड इट्स Act East policy. We want to put forward our Act East policy. Okay, and South China Sea is the important region basically for that. Okay, another point is we are aware about one thing, that China is increasing its expansion in the Indian Ocean, right, through its string of pearls policy. You must have read about it somewhere. Otherwise, we must be discussing about it in the further classes basically. कि there is something called as string of pearls policy of China. This is the policy it is adopting to increase its expansion in the Indian Ocean. तो अगर इस expansion को balance करना है, तो involvement in the South China Sea is going to provide a kind of opportunity to India. Okay, so that's why also India is increasing its involvement in this region. Another thing is freedom of navigation. बात की जाए South China Sea की, तो बात thing is कि free and secure navigation in South China Sea is key to India's trade security. Why? Because large proportion of trade is passing through the Malacca Strait. We all are aware like how important this is, Malacca Strait. In fact, world की बहुत ज़्यादा trade होती है through this Malacca Strait. India की trade भी in a greater proportion Malacca Strait के through होती है. Okay, तो any conflict here is going to jeopardize India's trade ties with Southeast Asian nations and its economic security. तो अगर किसी भी तरह का conflict होता है in the South China Sea, it is definitely going to impact India as well. तो Next one is oil and gas resources. We have read about it earlier as well, ki how important region it is for the oil and natural gas to and India की भी policy we all are aware कि we are now trying to diversify our oil imports, so that's why it is going to provide a kind of opportunity for us for doing that. US as a pull factor, तो क्वाड members हैं both US and India. Also, both are concerned with China's dominance in the South China Sea. So that's why, or in greater detail about the Quad members and their impact or their stance on this conflict, we are going to discuss about. I'll be discussing it specifically in the next lecture. I'll taking another lecture which will be specifically talking about the tussle between China and Philippines, and also what is the actual stance of those basically Quad members. It is also, it was there in article in the Hindu 2-3 days ago, so I'll be discussing about that in the next class only. So now what can be the solutions to this problem? So first point is they need to de-escalate the tensions and avoid taking any kind of hostile action. We are aware that China-Philippines conflict is actually increasing. And the thing is, they should not take any kind of hostile action, and this conflict should not turn into any kind of war. The solution to it can be through a diplomatic route. Asian countries, as we have read about, is that they are having some kind of internal issues and they are not able to build a joint front. So it's important that they build a joint front so that negotiations can be made with China and they can reach a proper code of conduct can be materialized actually, because only then a long-term solution can be there for this problem. Okay, only then this conflict can be resolved. So these are the points which can be written in the solution, or they can be written in the way forward. So now we have discussed almost everything about the South China Sea conflict. The thing which is left is China-Philippines conflict, which I'll be discussing as a separate topic in the upcoming video. I'll be discussing about it. Okay, and also another thing is what is the stance of the Quad nations on this. I'll be discussing about it in the next class. Okay, so we have discussed about the importance of the South China Sea. We have discussed about UN clause. We have discussed about this conflict. Why is the conflict there? We have also discussed about India's stance, like why it was a neutral stance first and why India has changed its stance on it, and also discussed about the solution or the way forward. So I think this much is important from the perspective of means as well as prelims. This is all about the South China Sea, ending with a quote that we should never forget that why we have started. That's very important, because this is something which is going to provide us the energy or a constant motivation for going forward, because UPSC is not something like which you'll be able to achieve within a few months or so. It might take years. So it's important to understand this thing, that in order to provide ourselves with a constant motivation, we should never forget that why we have started, and we should never give up. We should keep on working hard, and one day we will definitely achieve the success. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next lecture.